Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Fantastic Fungi Reimagine. We've been having a lot of fun today. I'm Stephen Apkon.
And I'm Marcina Hale.
And we're both the executive producers on the film Fantastic Fungi and co-founders of Reconsider.
Yeah.
So we have a really exciting program for you. Earlier today, we were with Sam Garrett and Mose and Don Mitchell from Darlingside and Porenghi. They are some of the artists on this really spectacular, if I don't say myself, new double album, Fantastic Fungi Reimagine.
And it's, the project itself was sort of born out of the idea that's our tacos, that the ability to reimagine. And in reimagining, it's the arts that are a part inside of each of us and in the world that is a part really needed to reimagine. And in looking at artists and their impact on the world, we know that music has always played a crucial role in any kind of transformative event or ideology. And it's something that we really wanted to honor and bring forth the voices of the artists.
And we want to give a big shout out to two producers on this album, Parmita Pushman and Amber Rubarth. Amber's also on the album herself. And people have asked about Fantastic Fungi. It is inspired by the film and by the mycelial kingdom. And a big shout out to our great friend, Louis Schwartzberg, the director of Fantastic Fungi. We'll let you know how to see that if you haven't seen it yet.
And to Paul Stamets, who really inspired the film.
And to Paul Stamets. And the film really was done in a mycelial way. It's one of the most amazing things. Rather than starting in New York or Los Angeles, we premiered the film in Denver on September 20th of last year. And it expanded like mycelium going out under the ground. And it was all word of mouth. Right. It was people sharing it. And what inspired us about this album was to do it in a very similar way. Mm-hmm. So the album was created for the proceeds to benefit education and awareness around the therapeutic benefits of mushrooms. There's groundbreaking work going on to deal with some of our most significant mental health challenges. And we are getting that message out, and that's what this album is supporting. And we also decided in the creation of it to do it in a mycelial way.
Sure. It's really bringing together a diverse group and letting them use their voice. 9 of the songs are originals. And other ones are ones that really just sort of carry the same message. When we looked at the film, there were 3 main areas that we really focused on, which is the intelligence of nature's that we are part of it, but also the ability for nature to help us in dealing with any of the kinds of issues that we're doing with the world right now.
And part of doing it in
the last one is the ability to shift consciousness, to be able to change the way that we are creating in this world right now and to create something new, and to reimagine.
And part of that creation and the reimagining is to do it in a mycelial way. And so with the proceeds going to support this nonprofit mission, we've also started a Kickstarter. And it is both to support the album, the creation of the album, but it's also to have people join us in the creation of this, in the emergence of this music, this spectacular music, and to do it all together. So there are great ways of saying thank you, including private sessions, meetings with Paul Stamets, with Louis Schwartzberg, with Merlin Sheldrake, who just wrote Entangled Life, with grow kits, with all kinds of things. But most importantly, with the feeling of being part of that mycelial network community. And early downloads of the album itself.
Yeah, the album itself is something that, each individual song is amazing, but when you put it together, it creates an experience. And it was fun to even have Paul and his partner Pam being able to listen to this music when they first received it, and how much they loved to be able to really work with it. And
speaking of the music, let's bring on David Satori. Hey, David.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. And I don't know whether Evan's on or not, or maybe joining us along the way.
He might be jumping on in a second. We'll see.
Great. We could go with that. This is, I mean, having you, David, is really exciting because there are 24 songs. It is a double album. And I don't think there's any musician that is on more than one of those songs other than you.
Oh, hey.
And you are here as both for Dirtwire and Beats Antique.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm in both bands, working double time over here.
Nice. And you have a special affinity for this album. We were talking earlier. We remember the moment that you and Paul Stamets met, and maybe you can talk a little bit about your relationship to the album and to the music.
Yeah, I met Paul and Ladina, his daughter, this past February at Envision Festival in this beautiful waterfall. We met backstage, and then we ended up going to this waterfall and really just connecting, talking about music and mushrooms with a big group of friends. It was a really nice way to meet. And I've been working, well, Dirtwire specifically has been working with psilocybin with our music and while we record for over a decade now. And we just felt comfortable this past year, like really talking about it, just because of the stigma around it. And it has a lot to do with the work you guys have done with the film, which is an amazing film, in getting the awareness out about this as an ally in medicine, as opposed to something to be scared of.
Right.
So we made an album called Electric River, which has Maria Sabina on the front of it, and it's sort of an homage by Carrie Thompson, a dear friend who did the art. And it's an homage to our relationship to psilocybin as a culture and as a band. And this is an extension of that, and we're honored to be part of this collection. So many friends are on this compilation. It's been an honor to get to know Paul and the family more, because I feel the work is so important to get this message out that the fungi has to teach us. It does feel like another kingdom on this planet that we have ignored, and it's really great to see it come to light.
Yeah, and it is such an amazing moment in time where people are sort of the mycelium underground are starting to fruit. I mean, I guess we have the perfect conditions for it, but people being much more open about the importance of it in their lives and
how little we know about them. I mean, we were just talking with the mycologist that was saying that only 5 to 10% of mycelium or mushrooms are even identified at this point.
Right. Yeah. It's vast, right? It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about Dirtwire's song on the album, Sailing the Solar Flares. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, that now looking back on it, that was written during a psilocybin journey with me and Evan. And looking back on it now too, is like the idea of the spore, right? The spore of the mushroom. It's one of the only life forms we know of on the planet that can actually survive through space. So this wasn't the intention of the name. Like, it was just sort of this name that came to us. But thinking about it now, it's sort of like that idea that the spore is sailing the solar flares, the movement of space, and traveling from different planet to different planet. And as I've gone deeper with psilocybin, it does feel like this otherworldly experience, this other alien intelligence, that is beyond this planet. So in a way, that's sort of an homage to the spore going through outer space and sending a message. And that melody really came to me, that violin melody, in like a rush, in like a open space of, like, I feel if channeling, like just opening up and some melody coming through, some kind of message. So yeah, that song definitely evoked the spirit of the mushroom.
Well, it'd be really nice to hear a short piece of that if we have that.
Cool.
That always get you moving.
Yeah, we were here rocking out.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
He looked at me at some point and was like, "Are we on the screen?"
No, I
Cool.
love it. And David, if you could talk a little bit about your project that you're working on right now with Paul and how that came about.
Yeah, it was a very interesting sort of a mode of creating a project, or path to create the project. I was just talking with friends about the VR Burning Man experience and what's happening, and we just came up with this idea of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was this VR mushroom, and we just sort of left it at that, and just sort of like, just thought it would be a cool idea. But then I met a friend my friend in LA just sort of let me know, like, hey, there's actually this amazing Burning Man virtual platform called the Infinite Playa. So you can Google the Infinite Playa and check out their little video. But I called up Paul and I asked him, hey, I have this opportunity to work with Android Jones, who's an old friend. He's done a lot of the Beats Antique album covers. I think he's done around three album covers for us. And we've known each other for a long time. And he agreed to do this. And so we raised some money and made this amazing virtual mushroom that you can explore in Burning Man. And there'll be talks, like Paul's going to do some streams from it. There's going to be a lot of different speakers that we're still booking right now. We're still looking for submissions. So if you have anybody that would be interested in speaking at it, we have an email, the vrmushroom@gmail.com, that you can sort of, we'll send a submission form and all that fun stuff. And we're just looking for a lot of DJs, producers. We got Beats Antique and Dirtwire, and Break Science. Beretta from the Glitch Mob is doing his some stuff with his Ram Dass project, and we're in the midst right now of booking it. So there's a lot of people, and probably a lot of people on the album. We'll be reaching out to them as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, let's play the album there. It'd be cool to do we could just play the whole album for we literally have 7 days of programming. So
that would be crazy. That'd be beautiful.
It's funny because this album started off and we were going to do a album, and now it's a double album. And to tell you the truth, it could keep on going. There's more and more people that were
and we also we were really excited about the idea of having everybody come together and doing something live.
Right.
Paul would refer to it as mush stock. And we may still do that once we're past COVID, but it's great to be able to connect this way while we can.
Right on. Yeah, it's exciting, and this would be a cool platform to sorry, a little fly. Be experimenting with new ways of networking. Like, it's a video game, so all this whole younger generation is so used to this platform, but to take Burning Man looking art and ideas of social platforms of ways to connect and experience art and performance and education and talks is just a really exciting new platform.
Amazing, and it will provide access to so many more people than just the people in the playa.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
do you have that clip? Do you want to show
it? Let's see if we can share it right now. That's crazy. Wow. And we're joined by Evan Fraser.
Hey, Evan.
Hey, Evan.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us.
thanks for having me.
So I don't know if you caught while while you were getting on, we were talking to David about Dirtwire's experience and where the songs emanate from, and it sounds almost like in partnership with the Mushrooms.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you
Yes.
great. Can you hear our dog?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, in partnership with the Mushrooms for sure. They are super helpful with opening the floodgates of creativity to and really we become more vehicles, musical vehicles with our music skills to let the music come through and um, let these vibrations come from wherever they do through us to everybody's ears. So we're really grateful to have that relationship with the Mushrooms, and yeah, we're excited to do more of that.
And I think that's what's amazing is that, when you start off a project, if you already know where it's going to go, you've almost limited it, what it could be. And the beauty of art and artist is the ability to enter into this place of the unknown and yet understand that it's going to be an event that co-creates itself. And it does really rely on the essence of the intelligence of nature. If you could talk about a little bit about like the creative process of that.
Yeah, absolutely. The creative processes, we look to nature a lot for our inspiration, and we like to spend a lot of time in nature. And there's something about being in the silence of nature to really help us kind of get the clarity to get out of our own way, so to speak, and let what wants to come through, because we've been, putting our practice time in on whatever instrument we're into in the moment. But if we can kind of get into that solitude of nature and find the quiet space, that's really where a lot of the magic comes through a lot for me personally.
Mm.
And it's that term, channeled, that comes up so often, or in the flow, that comes up. And what the experience of that is to feel like you're channeling something. What does that feel like to you?
It's really kind of like just being witness to the magic happening in the moment, and yeah, really getting your own ego out of the way, and which is tricky. But yeah, letting the magic come through, and it's like you sort of realize it's happening, but you don't want to do anything differently, because otherwise you might change the energy that's flowing, and you kind of just have to be like, all right, this feels good. You're in the sweet spot. You're in the zone. Let's just let this happen as long as it's going to happen,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not to hold on to it too tight.
Right.
Yeah, I would just add, like, yeah, I feel like it's those moments where I'm not thinking at all. It's like literally like pure being in the moment as the most I've ever felt it. And that's what's the beauty of music, and especially when it's enhanced with a psilocybin journey or something, in that getting to that channel place, it's like pure moment. There's no past or present, and like becomes this sort of like time stopper where you just don't even know how long it's been happening, and you just sort of like, whoa, it's a wave. It feels like a wave,
Mm-hmm.
And do you have moments when you both go into it at the same time to create? Have you ever had an experience like that where you find yourselves together in the creation process?
Oh yeah. Well, that's how we prefer to do it, is to set up the studio, get all our instruments tuned up, get everything plugged in. That's important. And then
what I meant by it was that there's times where someone's in the flow and then someone else is not in the flow. Like we're partners.
Oh, I got you.
And there's times where I can feel very much in the flow, and then there's times that he could be in the flow and like sort of let it go here and let there. And there's times where you meet each other.
I see.
Where I feel like it's a whole different level of experience.
Yeah, I feel like we lock in. Like we've been playing music together for like 20 years, so we've been doing it for a bit, and journeying for many of those years. So there are, I mean, many moments where like someone is, or in flow at different, but like we have had lots of moments where music has been made linked together, I think it comes mostly when we're improvising. Like that feels like when it really is, when those moments lock in.
Well, we're really glad that conversation's continued between you guys for that long, because it's beautiful music. Really
Thank you.
inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm
And
really grateful.
Yeah, we're really grateful to have you both on this album, and this project has been so near and dear to all of our hearts, and it is being created by all of the artists together. It really is a collective experience, and again, it's one of the reasons why we set it up for the proceeds of the album to go to support the education and the awareness of this emerging conversation. We were talking with David earlier about decriminalized nature movement, and we are very close to our friends and partners at SPORE out of Denver, who led the first decriminalized movement, and the importance of education and awareness for people in the mental health field, for policymakers, for others, to understand the importance and the therapeutic benefits of these organisms that nature provides.
And we are doing this through a Kickstarter, raising the funds to be able to fund the creation of the album. And it's something that, it's a way that the community can be involved in creating something. Just the same way that the artists came on board to be able to bring their gifts to the project. We're asking people at different ways to come and go ahead and join the ability to create a project like this. And there's amazing gifts or
thank yous
that are available, including a CD of this double album, and also some time with either Paul or Louis and our partners at SPORE to be able to get consultation on how to bring
that's actually one of the most exciting things is that SPORE is going to lead a session for people on how to decriminalize their own communities.
Cool. That's great.
That's really cool.
Which is really cool. I wonder if we can switch gears to Beats Antique for a moment, and David, again, as we said in the intro, like you are of the 24 songs, you are playing 2 of the songs, and Beats Antique is an amazing project, amazing band in its own right, really spectacular music, and very different in many ways too.
Mm-hmm.
And is there an alter ego to David Satori that brought Beats Antique into this project in a different way, or how do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Beats Antique came about as a belly dance project to make music for belly dance, and the third member, Zoe Jakes of the band, is the inspiration for that, and that's she had an opportunity for us to make music for her, and we got it out there. So it was really inspired by the dance. That's where Beats Antique really got its origin from, and Middle Eastern hybrid fusion electronic West Coast influenced bass music world. So it's definitely came in definitely a different way than any other band has ever come at it before. So but I would say we all individually have our relationship to mushrooms and psilocybin and like all different kinds of mushrooms in Beats Antique, and we've definitely seen them as allies throughout our journey as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I think, the name of the album obviously is Reimagine, and we're going through this period of time on this planet where there's so many things that are shifting and changing. And I don't know if any of you would, either one of you would like to sort of comment about, the time that we're in and the importance of music during this time.
Yeah, it's an intense time for everyone, and we're all going through a lot of transformation and in our lives and our careers, and I think we're experiencing some growing pains, but I have faith that we'll get to a good place eventually. Music is really important for keeping our spirits up and lifting up the people's hearts and keeping us dancing, even though we can't be dancing together as much as we'd like to. That's been a goal of mine here in my little studio, of just keeping the dance flame alive and wanting to keep people's bodies moving wherever they are. So
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like it's what Evan just said. It's it's definitely, I've been listening to more music than I have ever. I have a record player, and it's been listening to old records, and it's been really healing to just like be listening to all of these old stories that are being told through every song, and uplifting, and able to, even if some of the songs are sad, to like be able to channel your sadness and find this relation of the sadness people are feeling right now as well, and also lifting our moods. It is medicine. It is. I think they've actually, I forget which organization, but like some medical organization finally wrote a paper that music is proven to be medicine finally, so that there actually can be grants written for research and all this stuff. We've always known it, but it's really cool to see that there is progress, and people really seeing that. And I think that this is a time for that medicine.
Well, no question. I mean, that notion of music as medicine is something that guided the creation of this album for sure.
And it's interesting as a therapist, you're looking at loneliness as one of the number one issues in our society right now. And that's one of the reasons I think I even brought up like that individual flow, but it's collective flow that when we get into it is even more powerful than our own flow. And, in watching how both the artists individually on this album and then hearing the whole album together and watching how the different ways of creating music are flowing together. And even David, with you, with two different bands, and for example.
We're really honored to be a part of this project. I really enjoy the film, and we're happy that this music is fits with the mood and the healing energy of the project. We have I actually have a track coming out tomorrow called Mycelium.
Check it out, coming out tomorrow. Excellent.
Yeah.
So we were just saying to David earlier that we remember when Paul was introduced to Dirtwire, and was so excited about what you guys are doing and who you were, and then when we shared the master of this album, he went crazy. He and Pam just, I think it became the soundtrack for them since they've had it, and it is for us as well. So right. It's a really cool thing to have, and we invite people to join us along this journey. We've released a couple of singles from the album. We're going to continue to do that, and the album itself will be out September 18th, which again we're very excited about. We want to thank sponsors for the project: Ecovative, Spore, Unify, Air Trumpet Labs, and Aspen Brain Institute. And we also want to let people know that a lot of this started with the film, and music is an amazing way to convey emotions and to convey important messages, and so is film. And Louis Schwartzberg's Fantastic Fungi is a great movie. It's something that brought all of us together. And if
you haven't by chance seen it, you can use the link that's right here to be able to go online and watch the film. Many people have watched it several times.
Yeah, and before we're going to give everybody a gift before we head out, and that's going to be Beat Antique, Let It All Go, which you talk about movement. I mean, we get, David, this notion, and Evan, this notion that where the music came from, because you cannot not move when you hear this.
All right.
And this song, Let It All Go, has a lot to do with, I feel like, some of the lessons that the mushrooms have to teach us, which is let go of your baggage, your personal crisis or story, like to start to listen, and like you can shed off all the suffering in a way that we hold and release. So I feel like that lesson has been taught, like shown to me a lot on journeys with mushrooms. So yeah.
And it's interesting because in putting together this album, we wanted to have songs that would help people with the Reimagine process. And I remember hearing the song first, I'm thinking, this is so essential to the process of reimagining. Because if you're not ready or willing to let go of what you're holding on to, then something new can't really be born in. And so I really loved how that song just fit right in.
So with that in mind, our gratitude to both of you for sharing your hearts, your spirit, your music, your time with us.
Thank you so much. We're honored. And again, this is the Preservation Hall Jazz Band from New Orleans who's featured on this.
This is really amazing. So a gift to everybody from David Freven, from Dirtwire, from Beats Antique on this song, Let It All Go. And we invite you all to join us in the creation of this album. Become part of that mycelial network that gives birth at this most important time to this healing medicine.
Thanks
so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you. Let It All Go. Beats Antique. Amazing, guys. That was awesome. Hey.
Right on.
Wow. That's
You guys ever do a music video?
You let it go.